Gender role identity. Gender role identity. What do you mean by gender?
Male or female, etc.
Generally develops through the process of different differentiation and interactions of biological, social, and cognitive learning factors that occur over a period of time. Okay, so these gender differences may be through your interactions of biological, then social and cognitive learning factors that occur over a period of time. So from infancy to childhood and adolescence, then over a period of time you can identify your gender, whether male or female. Okay. Then factors like changes in sexual and gender development which occur at specific times, sensitive periods, and thereafter may become immutable. Okay, then from prenatal infancy to childhood. Okay, usually during adolescence you can identify your gender. You can be with your own gender, whether male or female. Okay, so because of sexual hormones, female hormones or male hormone. Okay, this is about gender role identity. So during birth, almost all infants are socially labeled as either girl or boy. Okay, so family members and other, they label this boy or girl. Okay, based on the appearance of the external genital. Okay, so children may be treated differently, and therefore, depending upon the labeled sex, the child begins to develop a body image of self as a girl or boy. Okay, so after birth, they will label this boy female because of different organs. This boy, this is the this infant is girl or whether it's a boy. Okay, so disparity or differentiation, they will see you as a, so boy you need to do all these things, whether you are a girl you need to do all these things. Okay, so this is about gender role identity. So after 6 years, 5 to 6 years, so gender conscience is an idea that if a child is girl, she will always be female and will grow up to be a woman. Okay, so after 5 to 6 years, they will identify their gender. They will behave whether male or female. They will be in a group of own sex. Okay, if whether it is a boy child or girl child, they will be in a group. They will be in a group with the same gender. So after they develop secondary sexual characteristics during adolescence. Okay, they will identify gender roles. Okay, they will identify male, female, heterosexual or bisexual, homosexual, all this over a period of time. That is during adolescence, adulthood. Okay, so with this, I think we have covered 9th unit. Anybody have any doubts regarding this concept of self, types of self, development of self, then aspects of self, that is self-functioning, self-monitoring, self-efficacy, culture, then gender role identity. Yes. Yes, any doubt? Any clarifications? Anybody?
No, sir. No, sir. It's
sir.
clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then we'll move on to next unit, that is unit number 10. Title of this unit is social influence. Unit number 10, social influence. Social influence, conformity. What predicts conformity? Why confirm? Why? Who confirms? Then compliance, persuasion elements, group effect, technique of compliance, cooperation and competition, summary. Okay. So we have already discussed about man is a social being and he is interacting with other individuals for his survival and identity. He constantly comes under the influence of other people because you are belongs to a social group. Sometimes you influence the society. Sometimes society influence will be there upon you as an individual. Okay, so you have to interact with other people in the society. Okay, sometimes you influence them. Sometimes you influenced by the other people in the society. So social influence is one such aspect in which we see that people often conform to some pressure from the society. They comply out of fear for their social standing and they either cooperate or compete for their survival. Okay, so some issue is there. Then you have to stand. What is your stand? Okay, conformity is a phenomena where knowing full well that we are being pushed to accept what we don't believe in. We sometimes agree with others. Okay, so in certain aspects, sometimes we agree with others. Sometimes we may not agree with. We have some differences of opinions in the society. The ones who do not conform are generally viewed as outcasts, which pushes them into discomfort situation. Therefore, people conform to feel a part of the group. For example, you belong to some group. Okay, whether student group or your community group. Okay, so you have to agree the group norms. Okay, you have to agree the group norms. Sometimes you may disagree. Okay, so compliance is that act where you tend to adhere to people's request even when you don't believe them. Okay, so sometimes it so happens that because of your member of that particular group, you have to adhere to people's request. So same group, for example, it belongs to your college group, school group, or student community. For example, now we have WhatsApp group of MSc first year psychology. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So we have to adhere people's request. Okay. We may comply in public, may not accept it in private. Okay. So when we comply both publicly and privately, we call it internalization, which is mostly used for developing morals or in socialization process. Sometimes we have some different opinion, so we not express our disagreement. Okay, difference of opinion in public. So sometimes what so happens that you can speak with the particular person in private. So publicly you may not disagree with them in a group. Okay, so privately you can talk to him or her about your opinion. That is public and private. When people are interdependent on each other with respect to means, goals, etc. So because you are part and parcel of that particular group, so you are interdependent on each other. So as a group member, you are interdependent on the group. So group wants you, either like in either way, you want group wants you and you want the group. Both are interdependent, dependent on each other, individual as well as group. Okay, so some group norms will be there, group goals will be there. Some NGO working for street children. Okay, some NGOs working for health awareness campaign. Okay, so on and so forth. So it has important consequences. So there is highly related questions, which has to be checked here. Under what circumstances will a cooperative relation between people develop? So if you are belong to a particular community, so you in generally the people will cooperate with each other. Okay, for particular cause, for example, some calamity is there, some accident occurs. Okay, some floods are happen in the city or your street. So then the cooperation among the group members will be there. Okay, sometimes you must compete with others. For example, you are preparing for the exam, competitive exam. You have to compete with the group, same group. Okay, entrance examinations or job preparation, interview preparation. Okay, you have to cooperate with the group. Sometimes you have to compete with the group. So it is often found that cooperation is most likely to emerge when people are positively interdependent. So like-minded people will always be interdependent. Okay, so competition is most likely in situations where there is negative interdependence. For example, in a class there are 40 members. Okay, SSC or +2 or degree and so on and so forth. So in those groups, they have negative interdependence because I have to score more. I have to be first in the class. So for that, in a group, there is a competition. Okay, there is a negative interdependence. Okay. So in a cooperative situation, it's found that people share their resources and views to attain a common goal. But in a competitive situation, people are secretive and hoard their resources to gain a edge over the other competing party. For example, in political campaign. Okay, so political campaign, what will happen every time? Each group will be having negative aspects. Okay, each group will be blaming each other. This is about positive and negative interdependence. Then social influence, because individually we may not survive, we have to be in a group. Okay, as an individual, as a member of the particular community, some social pressure is there upon you as an individual. Okay, the social pressure that community brings to bear are in a mainstream of moral values. For example, you are belongs to some community that is Hindus, Muslim, or Christian. Okay, so you have to bear in mind, you have to follow traditions, customs, values of the particular community. For example, for Hindus, somebody likes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they will go to temple, they will do prayers. Okay, then for Christians, Sunday, then for Muslims, Friday. Okay, you have to follow communal beliefs, values, traditions, and customs. Okay, moral values also belongs to the particular to the particular community. So assuming the values most of us share, we can say that conformity is sometimes bad, sometimes good. Okay, so for you, based on your community, based on your tradition customs, something is good for you may not be good for others, because they don't belong to your community. They won't believe. Believe in your community, your tradition values. Okay, so this conformity is sometimes bad, sometimes good, and sometimes inconsequential. It is a that is, it is bad when we imitate bad behavior. So although you belong to some community, if you imitate bad behavior, it is always it gives bad results. Good when we hesitate to break cues or rules, and consequential when someone is making a fuss to make us to do something which we do not want to do. For example, communal rights during Hanuman Jayanti or different festivals. Okay, somebody does some bad. Okay, it will affect the whole community. Okay, the conflict between Christian Muslims or Hindu Muslims, so on and so forth. Okay, so when you view from the Western cultural perspective, which has a individualistic outlook, yielding to group pressure. So same group pressure considered as a negative behavior, that is showing submission, compliance. Okay, whereas on the positive side, conformity represents communal sensitivity, responsiveness, being cooperative, and these are encouraged by the Eastern culture. So Western culture is individualistic outlook. Okay, the children, once they grown up, once they are into adolescence, they will be they have to live in a independent manner. Okay, so that is Western culture. Whereas in our India, so up to marriage, even after marriage also, the children will be dependent on their parents. Okay, so that is Western model. This is our Eastern model. So in Western model, it is all depends upon the it has individualistic outlook. Okay, then it yields to peer pressure is considered as negative behavior, that is showing submission and compliance. Whereas on the positive side, conformity represents communal sensitivity, responsiveness, being cooperative, and these are encouraged by the Eastern culture. Okay, so this is our difference between Western and Eastern model. Then a person with internal control withstands control or domination and is independent and inner directed, whereas a person with external control falls prey easily to bring monitored or dominated by outside forces. Therefore, so we have to consider the labels of individual, whether he is internal or oriented or external oriented. These are labels are conformity, compliance, and acceptance. First, we'll discuss about conformity. So it is just not acting as others act, but it is being affected by how they act. Once again, I will repeat. Conformity means it is just not acting as others act, by it is being affected by how they act. Okay, it is acting differently from the way you would act when you are alone. Okay, so your actions will be same whether you are in the group or as an individual. Okay, so the conformity can be defined as change in behavior or belief to accord with others. So based on others' behavior, you have to change your own behavior. You have to change your own beliefs. So, however, all behavior do not fall under conformity. When one has a strong belief and respect for abiding to the dictates of others, only then when we conform. There are several varieties of conformity. Okay, so they have divided conformity to, that is, compliance and acceptance. So we conform to expectation or request without really believing in what we are doing. Sometimes it will happen that we conform to an expecting a request without really believing in what we are doing. This is called as compliance. We comply because we know we will be rewarded for it, or we are trying to avoid a punishment. Sometimes we have to we behave for the sake of rewards, awards, and sometimes we are trying to avoid the punishment. Okay, so but if our compliance is to explicit command, then we call it as obedience. But when we genuinely behave in what the group has convinced us to do and do it sincerely, that is inward conformity, then it is called acceptance. However, acceptance sometimes follows compliance. There are some studies they quoted about this conformity. So this conformity have different dimensions, that is compliance and acceptance. Okay, so sometimes we conform to an expectations or request without really believing in what we are doing. Sometimes we may not think about whether we are doing good or bad. We will simply accept the request without really believing in what we are doing. That is one case. This is called compliance. So we comply because we know we will be rewarded for it, or we are trying to avoid punishment. Sometimes we behave for the rewards and awards. Then sometimes we have to we try to avoid punishment. Okay, so but when we genuinely behave in what the group has convinced us to do and do it sincerely, so inward conformity, then it is called acceptance. Okay, there is a request from the just a minute. We have yes, we just discussed about the social influence, introduction about conformity, then social influence, conformity. I think that my time is up. We'll continue this 10th unit in the next class. You have any doubts, queries? Please.
Sir, the conformity,
Yes.
page number 87, sir.
Page number 87. Just a minute.
It is.
No. We can consider up to page number 82.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If anything there, we'll discuss in the next class.
Okay. Sure.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
No doubts?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Am I making any sense, or am I going in a right path, or
Yes,
out
sir.
of the
Yes,
box?
sir. No, yes, sir. We can follow.
Okay, sorry for the late. I have urgent work in our university. That's why it got delayed. Sorry for that.
No problem, sir. It's okay. Thank
So we'll try tomorrow 12 to 1:30. I have another personal engagements. Then I will request sir to change my time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
After discussing with the university authorities, I will post in a group the class timings. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, sir.